Next, we go into part 7. We've included in the new standard what we call an end user guide. If we take a look at the way an ANSI Z359 product standard is built, it generally consists of 7 sections. And these sections really are generally written with the manufacturer or the test laboratory as an audience. The only section that really serves the end user or has any actionable information for the users of these products is section 6, which talks about inspection, maintenance, and storage procedures. Apart from that, it's all design and testing requirements and metrics, and doesn't really teach anybody how to use these devices. So new Z359 standards going forward are going to include actionable information the user can take note of and utilize to make decisions about the selection and utilization of the specific product that's addressed in that standard. So if we take a look at this slide here, I have basically extracted the main sections of Appendix B, which is the end user guide in Z359.14. The introduction states that this appendix serves as a guide to users of self-retracting devices and should be understood and taken into consideration prior to selection and integration of self-retracting devices into the site-specific fall protection plan. While this appendix is informative in nature, any organization choosing to implement this guidance should abide by it in its entirety. Then it goes on to address several critical aspects that need to be understood about self-retracting devices before the user makes a decision about their use. Section B1 addresses safe practices. The next section goes into selection. How do we choose the correct self-retracting device for the work that we're doing? Then we get into authorized person training. What do we need to tell the people who are using these devices about how to use them, how not to use them, what hazards they need to look out for, what can they expect? Then we get into use and limitations, some of the good do's and don'ts with respect to the use of self-retracting devices. Then we get into a discussion on how to calculate clearance, which is something that I find that a lot of people in the field struggle with just a little bit. And it can be very complicated to predict or estimate what our clearance requirements are going to be. So we've created a couple of case studies to illustrate how a user can estimate what their clearance requirements might be in a given set of circumstances. And then we go on to discuss other personal protective equipment. I talked previously about the number of head injuries we see as a result of falls. So we talk about recommending here in this section, for example, the use of a type 2 hard hat with a retention strap to protect the worker at height to ensure that that hard hat stays on their head and gives them both top and side impact protection. This is a Z359 area of focus. Our goal is to provide actionable information to the end user in a standardized format so that users of fall protection equipment and systems can make informed decisions in order to provide the best possible outcomes. So in future revisions of other Z359 product standards, we're going to see more of this type of end user guidance being provided so that users of fall protection equipment can create a better curriculum for training and also hopefully use it to make better purchasing decisions as well.